tensions over tariffs. China's Commerce Ministry said overnight if the U.S. is not sincere in its attempts at dialogue, trade negotiations will be impossible. Joining us now is a member of the Senate Finance Committee, Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana. Senator, you've introduced a bill that would end taxpayer subsidies of mail from China. How big of a problem is this?
A big problem, and it's not related to tariffs. It's actually a UN treaty that says that the American taxpayer subsidizes postal rates for Chinese businesses to send goods to the United States at a lower cost of delivery than a U.S. company. So again, taxpayer dollars here, subsidizing Chinese businesses to put our businesses out of business. We should do something different.
Yeah. Senator Bob Nardelli has a question.
So, Senator, does that cover all goods coming in from China, or is there any exemptions on that as you're outlining your proposal?
It's the goods that relate to the U.S. Postal Service. And again, I just don't want subsidies. I don't want the U.S. taxpayers subsidizing the delivery of mail from merchants in China. So it is a reverse tariff, if you will, currently, where we are putting a burden upon ourselves in order to help the Chinese. Let's just make it a level playing field.
How much money are we talking about, though, Senator?
Tremendous. My daughter bought a Lego set for her, for my grandson, and it came 3 weeks later from China because, again, it was cheaper to mail from China. So if you look at everything you're buying online, good chance that it's being sent from China because it's cheaper. It's just remarkable. By the way, we also heard from, I think, the National Association of Manufacturers that most of the counterfeit items that are coming in from China on U.S. subsidized mail.
But again, I think that sometimes lawmakers can't see the forest for the trees in terms of the spending that's going on down there. If you look at that omnibus spending bill that was passed and signed by President Trump, that omnibus bill had almost $14 billion more for just transportation and housing in 2018 that the House passed in its appropriations. Again, in terms of the potential rescissions and the reckless spending by lawmakers right and left, what are you doing about that?
Well, first, I voted against that omnibus bill.
I'm trying to get your ire up. That's why I asked you that.
I'll be like Yosemite Sam with smoke blowing out my ears. No, absolutely. We've got to do something about that. And, of course, discretionary spending is only a small part of what we need to do. Right now, the Medicare and Social Security trust funds are going bankrupt. And none of the tax cuts that we did affected that revenue stream. It is just that 10,000 baby boomers a day become eligible for those benefits. So Congress has to address both. And I'm personally very invested in investing both. One way to help, though, is by increased economic growth. And increased economic growth also relates to not subsidizing Chinese businesses so that they can better compete against our businesses.
There's a bipartisan bill aimed, and this is switching gears a bit, aimed at protecting Special Counsel Robert Mueller's job. It's on track for a vote in the Senate Judiciary Committee. This comes as lawmakers on both sides of the aisle warn President Trump not to fire Robert Mueller. And here's what Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley told me earlier this week. Just listen.
I have confidence in Mueller. The president ought to have confidence in Mueller. And I think, to answer your question, it would be suicide for the president to want to talk about firing Mueller.
Senator, President Trump tweeted this morning, if I wanted to fire Robert Mueller in December, as reported, I would have fired him. What do you say to what's happening with the special counsel?
I agree it would be political suicide for the president to fire Mueller. I will also say I'm not sure that Congress has the constitutional right to keep the president from firing people. I think Congress lost that argument when Andrew Johnson tried to fire Lincoln's appointees. And lastly, I'm not sure it matters because we know from experience that if a chief investigator is fired, the investigation continues. And so on the whole, I think the president should keep Mueller. If not, I'm not sure the things we're discussing would even matter.
Yeah, Judge Andrew Napolitano points out over and over that be careful what you do and wish for, because the replacement for Archibald Cox during the Watergate investigation was tougher with Leon Jaworski. I want to get your take on Paul Ryan. Less than 3 years into his tenure as House Speaker, he is leaving Congress in January, not going to run for re-election. the announcement a surprise to some, worries some in the GOP who expect to face an increasingly challenging election in November. Your reaction to Paul Ryan leaving, and do you maybe attention and money now turn to the Senate and those Republican candidates there?
I read a statement. I totally agree with it. When I was elected to Congress, my children were preteens. Now my son is about to enter graduate school in Chicago. And so I missed those years being at home. When he speaks of missing his teenage children's years, I totally relate to that. It may make it tougher. Of course, I'm for Scalise to take his place. He's a homie for me. But I think the Republicans will be able to pick up the pieces.
Senator Bill Cassidy, thank you so much for being here. Apologies for the technical problems earlier. You stuck around for us, and we greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir.